In particular, I just want to extend a warm welcome to all of the elected officials who have joined us today to celebrate, again, this very special moment. On behalf of Erica, I want to thank you. And I know she's so grateful, and you will hear from her later, but thank you for being here today. Your presence reminds each one of us gathered and the public at wide that public service is never a solitary endeavor. It's a partnership between those who lead and those who serve. So your presence really makes a difference. Today, we celebrate not only a transition in leadership, but also a reaffirmation of our shared commitment to justice, to integrity, and to service to the people of Seattle. With more than 66% of the electoral vote, Erica Evans stepped into history as the first Black person, the first African American woman to hold this elected office. Yeah. As you have so acclaimed, this is not only noteworthy, but it is a true cause for celebration and joy. As each of you know, the role of city attorney is one that involves profound responsibility. It requires a steady hand, intellectual rigor, and an unwavering dedication to the rule of law. Our city attorney serves as a guardian of fairness in criminal prosecutions, a counselor to our city's elected leaders, and an advocate for the public interest. And while this position is about interpreting statutes and ordinances, it is also about ensuring that the principles of justice and compassion are woven into every decision that shapes our community. And because I know Erica Evans well, I can say with certainty that there's no doubt in my mind that she possesses the qualities to fulfill this important role in our city at this time, in this moment, when we all most need it. Ever aware of the roots of her family and ancestors, Erica is acutely mindful of the significance and privilege of what this all means. She understands at a very deep level and with great humility what justice and compassion is. Erica is proud to look back, to acknowledge her simple beginnings where she inherited a commitment to civil rights as well as a memory of injustice. And with that memory ever present, she nevertheless embodies a spirit of optimism. She is one who understands that we must look back, but we also must look forward. Erica wisely knows the solutions to complex problems involves collective wisdom and patience. She truly believes in the future and all the possibilities that it offers. And I can say I know she is committed to investing in the generation that will come after her through mentoring others so that they too can reach their full potential. The evidence of these standards is visible by looking at her professional credentials, but it's also evident by seeing where she has spent her personal time. Erica Evans has served as the president of the Lauren Miller Bar Association, which is the premier legal civil rights organization of African American lawyers in Washington state. And for 7 years, she led the Bar Studies program that invests in assisting law students of color to pass the bar exam. She co-chaired and remains involved in the Charles Johnson Youth in Law Forum, an educational action day that focuses on middle school and adolescent youth. And she has served as a pro tem judge in 3 different municipal courts so that she could understand in a very practical way the things that bring people into our courts. And I'm very proud of this, she is currently the co-chair of the Washington Leadership Institute, which is a leadership development program for underrepresented lawyers that is supported by the Washington State Bar Association, our 3 law schools, and is endorsed by the judiciary. Recognized by the Puget Sound Business Journal in 2024 as one of 40 under 40, Erica has earned the respect from business leaders across the region. Each of these roles, as well as her experience as a line-level trial attorney in the office she will lead, has informed and shaped the wisdom and sound judgment that she will bring to the job. Over the last couple of months, I've had the fortunate opportunity to talk to the public about trusting the next generation. It involves the idea that each one of us not only has the responsibility to succeed at what we're doing, but we also have a responsibility to the future, to those who come after us. It involves a style of leadership. My friends, I invite each one of us to turn to the next generation and not be afraid, to turn to the next generation and trust the sincerity and the goodwill. Erica Evans is that new generation of leadership in our city. And so, I want to say to my dear, dear Seattle City Attorney, Erica Evans, you step into the role at a time when the challenges facing our cities across the nation are complex and ever-changing. But with those challenges come opportunities. Opportunities to strengthen trust, to uphold transparency, and to ensure that every voice in our community is heard and respected. I am confident that your leadership will help guide us towards solutions that reflect the values that we hold dear. Erica Evans, we wish you great success as you accept your role in Seattle history. And by the way, happy birthday, my dear love.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Toa. I'm an undergraduate at the University of Washington, and I've had the honor of being one of Erica's campaign interns since this past April. If you're wondering what I did to be among this incredibly impressive list of speakers, me too. I am sorry to tell you I've never sued the Trump administration, and I've also never sat on a judicial bench. But I'll say that I think the reason I'm here has a lot more to do with Erica than it does with me, because her vision of leadership centers us, the people who elected her. Watching her fight and win on that vision over the past 10 months has meant so much to me. As you can see, I'm a young woman of color, and I'm also the daughter of an immigrant single mother who worked 2 jobs while raising my sister and I. Round of applause for my mom. A lot of well-meaning people have told me that I can leave that behind, that that's what success looks like, but Erica's proof I don't have to. She's talked about, I appreciate the soundtrack. She's talked about the legacy of strength that she inherited from her incredible parents and grandparents. And it's so easy to see that strength in her. She's made me feel my own strength so much more clearly, and I know I'm not the only one. These days, especially as a young person, it feels like a lot of things are out of our control. Yes, we will find moments of joy. Even among the threats to student aid, to free speech, worrying about our community members facing deportation, leaders like Erica are a reminder that we can fight and we can win. She's inspired me so much, it's hard not to be. I'm sure she's inspired many of you as well. We all know Erica is the first person of color city attorney, the first Black city attorney, the first woman of color city attorney. But I can say that because of the way she leads and the way I know she's going to fight for all of us, I also know that she's going to be the first of many. I'm so grateful that I've gotten to work with her and for her, and I'm so happy to be here with all of you celebrating her today. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon. No, we're here to celebrate. Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone. My name is Nick Brown. I'm the Washington State Attorney General, and it is my honor to be here to see everyone here this afternoon and to be here on behalf of Erica Evans. I was asked to speak about a month ago and eagerly accepted, and then Erica stole one of my best lawyers to be her criminal chief. So we're going to talk about that later. But I'm really could not be more proud to be here this afternoon on Erica's behalf. And I want to start with that pride. Because each of us who are here today have known Erica in various capacities. But I like to think that I've seen Erica grow up as a professional during our decade plus of knowing each other in various capacities. As Justice Yu said, Erica was heavily involved as a fellow and then leader of the Washington Leadership Institute. And looking around the room this afternoon, I see a number of people from the WLI community. If you all could raise your hands. For the past year, I've had the honor of being perhaps the most recognizable alumni from the WLI program, and then Erica got elected. But I just want to share a quick story. I too was a proud member of the WLI family, serving as a fellow in 2008, 2009, and then on the board for many years. And Erica was in the program when I was on the board, and I used to always lead a part of the training that was called Get on Your Feet and Convince Me, where graduates and fellows would have to get up and do an oral presentation, and I would judge them and give feedback. And there were varying degrees of success in that oral advocacy and how serious people treated it. And at the time that Erica was in the program, this was all via Zoom. And I remember distinctly looking and observing and giving feedback to some of her classmates who were going. And then Erica came on camera in this Zoom. And first and foremost, she had done an outfit change from the morning program. Put on something very similar to what she's wearing today. And the degree of seriousness with which she approached that small but important task showed me that this was a woman who took herself seriously, took me seriously, and took the work of becoming a better professional very seriously. And to see her growth in that program really filled me with some awareness of the next generation of talent that this legal community was going to experience. And there was a moment years later where Erica called me and she was thinking about another job opportunity. And I tried very hard to talk her out of that job opportunity. And that's something, as someone who's mentored people, that's not always an easy thing to do. But I knew that what she was considering was not the right position for her, that there was going to be a future opportunity to lead and to shine and to see what she could become. And I did not know it would be serving as the city attorney for the city of Seattle, but I knew that she had the skill set and the character to do something bold and visionary that would have an impact on more people. And then when I became the U.S. Attorney, Erica was a relatively new hire in the Department of Justice, and I got to see her grow as a criminal AUSA in that office. And to see her growth over the many, many years really just fills me with a great deal of pride. To go from a young lawyer trying to get her skills and her confidence to know what it takes to run for office and to see the outstanding campaign that you ran, being authentic to yourself. I'm just really proud of you. So let me start there. Second, I'm super excited for the city of Seattle. And I'm super excited for all the people that you are going to be serving as their lawyer. I want to recognize our new mayor. It's good to see your mayor and our city council people. You are in good hands with Erica Evans. And I know that she will bring the character and the expertise and the intellect to serve the city well, because this is a city with enormous potential that needs people of character and talent at all levels. And the city attorney's office is one of the most important roles that we have, and to have an independently elected city attorney serving both the people and your elected representatives. I'm just really excited to be a Seattleite in this moment. And the last thing I want to say, let me just offer a few pieces of wisdom to you. And as someone who's constantly on the other side of receiving wisdom, you can feel free to ignore any of this. But first and foremost, let me just encourage you to be yourself. You were chosen for this role because people believed in you and believed in your vision and believed in your words. And you will get pressure to be someone other than yourself. But being authentic to who you are and reverting back to your training and your upbringing is going to be one of the most important things that you can do, however long you serve as the city attorney for the city of Seattle. Number two, put the people first. Your job is to serve the people of the city of Seattle. And we are a diverse community with a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different voices, but I encourage you to put the people of this city first and to center what is best for them in every decision that you are making moving forward. And lastly, I encourage you to listen to the quiet voices in the room. One of the best things that I've learned as a leader is that there are a lot of people who will be offering you opinions. And this is Seattle. There will be a lot of people offering you their opinions with loud and convictions. And they may be happening in this room. As leaders, we often gravitate to sometimes the loudest voices in the room. But there is so much wisdom in the quiet people. There is so much wisdom in the people that are disregarded and neglected and not called upon. There is so much wisdom in the people that do not raise their hands. And so I encourage you to look for those people, to get their input, to seek their wisdom, to seek their expertise, to allow them to help you guide your office. And lastly, I encourage you to be bold. Your time in this position is short. Whether it's 1 term or 3 terms, the years will fly by. Your opportunity to make a mark on this office and this city and the people of the state of Washington is fleeting. So lean in, be authentic, listen to the people, and be bold. Congratulations, Eric.
Good afternoon. Boy, it works when you have somebody going before you. Clears the air. My name is Richard Jones. I'm a federal judge in Seattle. Unlike Justice Yu, I have not retired. I will tell you, I get questions all the time. Jones, you've been doing this a long time. When are you going to retire? And my quick response is, right now, you can't afford for me to retire. And unlike my good friend, Nick Brown, well, his advice is to be encouraged to follow. I expect you to follow the advice that I share with you. I'm not going to order, I'm not going to do that. But what I want to do is let everyone know that I've known Erica for many years. And when I first met Erica, she was a young law student. And one of the remarkable things about young law students is they try and get in your face so that they can convince you that you should be hiring them as your next external law clerk. Erica wasn't like that. Erica was reserved, she was quiet, and she was well-spoken, but she paid attention. And most importantly, Erica always listened. And she followed that old adage that I always tell younger lawyers, law students, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. To listen twice as much as you talk. And Erica's always had the ability to pay attention, to listen, and to take advice wholeheartedly and follow it. Now, as one of your mentors, I've had the chance many times to see you grow in so many different ways. Some of the positions that were referenced by Justice Yu were positions I had a chance to talk to you about, to consult with you about, to make sure that you knew that that was an important opportunity for you and for you to take full advantage of the opportunity, and you always did that. Now, I've served as a federal prosecutor. Nick Brown served as a federal prosecutor, so we know what the rigors and demands and expectations are of federal prosecutors. Erica appeared before me numerous times. She appeared before me and she was always well prepared, well spoken. She took directions from the court, and she was always at the top of her game when she walked into court. Now, we as federal judges expect that of every lawyer that comes into court. But the reality is, that's not what the outcome is. But I can tell you without question or hesitation, when Erica walked in the door, you knew that was a federal prosecutor who was well prepared. Seattle, you are so fortunate to have her as your top lawyer. You can go ahead and applaud. Next thing I want to share is, Erica, as we administer the oath, and take the oath today, I'm confident of one thing: this will not be the last time that an oath is administered to you as you take the opportunity to different things in your life. And Erica, I've been a public servant for most of my career as a judge in different positions I've held in the past. And I know the demands that will be placed upon you, and you'll face many challenges, some known and some unknown and some daunting. But I want you to know, if you follow the following advice, you'll always succeed, just as you always have. Look at Erica right now. Isn't she paying attention? She's paying the hell out of attention. First, always be true to yourself in making a decision. Always be true to yourself. Make your decision so when you get up in the morning and you look in that mirror and there's no one standing behind you saying, "Go on, girl, you did a great job," and slapping 5, when you're by yourself and look in the mirror, you have to be able to say, "I made the right decision. I did my homework. I consulted with the people I needed to consult with. I chose the right path. This is the correct decision." Never fear making a tough decision. The adage that goes with that is, you can't get an A if you're afraid to get an F. And that's a statement that you don't have to be afraid of making a mistake, because sometimes in positions of power comes with making a mistake, but you learn from those mistakes. Surround yourself with the best and brightest people, because those are the people that you turn to and look for advice, not just to tell you that's the right thing to do. I don't hire yes people in my office, and I don't expect that you will. And I've met some of the folks that you've hired. They're smart, they're industrious, and they will help you succeed as a team. One of the noblest statements that you can make as a city attorney is, "I stand corrected. I need to make a revision on that determination." Now, don't get in the habit of doing that. But I'm just saying, people respect you when you acknowledge that I've made a mistake. I need to change course of action, but it always has to be done with wisdom. Be patient in resolving conflict, but not afraid to challenge those seeking to compromise the rule of law. That's the job of the city attorney, is the rule of law, and it's supposed to be followed and enforced with you as the head and the leader. Be open to criticism, and do it without being defensive, and every challenge is an opportunity to learn. It comes as no surprise that Erica had a tough race, the city attorney. There's several people that jumped in the race at the beginning, and I remember talking to Erica at the very beginning of that. And after she walked away, I sent her a follow-up text. And I said, "Erica, there'll be people that may tell you it's not your turn. It's not your time. You need to hold off and wait. Give somebody else an opportunity, but it's just not your turn." And my advice to Erica was, I said, "Erica, people will tell you that you're about to enter a storm, and when they tell you that, your response can be quite simply, 'I am the storm.'" So I have just a couple questions, not for Erica, but for all of you in this room. And it's not a loyalty oath by any means. It's not a loyalty oath by any means, I repeat that. But I want to ask a question of all of you. And the answer is very simple. We do. And I want to hear from everybody when I ask the question. Do you commit, every single person in this room, that you will put your energy to assisting Erica Evans to be the absolutely best city attorney we've ever had? And if so, say we do. We do. All right, you all learned well. Wish I could have a courtroom with jurors like this. And do each of you commit that the issues of homelessness and community safety are not just Erica's responsibility, but the responsibility of this entire community in the city of Seattle? If you agree, please say, we do. We do. Y'all passing the test, 2 out of 3 so far. And the last, if you wish for Erica Evans to step up to the lectern and be sworn in as your next city attorney, please say, we do. We do. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
I, please state your full name,
I, Erica Joyce Evans,
swear that I possess all the qualifications
swear that I possess all of the qualifications
prescribed in the City of Seattle Charter
prescribed in the City of Seattle Charter
and the Seattle Municipal Code
and the Seattle Municipal Code
for the position of City Attorney,
for the position of City Attorney,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Washington,
the Constitution of the State of Washington,
and the Charter and Ordinance of the City of Seattle,
and the Charter and Ordinance of the City of Seattle,
and that I will faithfully conduct myself as a City Attorney.
and that I will faithfully conduct myself as the City Attorney.
I present to you our new Seattle City Attorney.
Let's go, Erica.
Thank you, thank you. Seattle, we did this. We made history together. And is this mic loud enough? Can you all hear me? Yeah. Okay, we're good? We're good? Great. We made history together. We believed in what this office can be when it is led with compassion, accountability, and the right laser focus. You all made this possible. I want to thank the leaders that you all just heard from. Judge Jones, who has been a mentor and guidance to me in every step in my career transition. Thank you for always believing and guiding me. Thank you. To Justice Mary Yu, who has kicked down doors so that I too can walk through those doors. Thank you. And to our Attorney General, Nick Brown, who makes history time and time again, thank you for everything you're doing to protect us here in Washington. Yeah. I'm grateful for all three of you. Another round of applause. I'm asked quite often, what is my North Star? And the answer is really simple. My purpose in North Star is serving others. Service to others is something that has always guided me. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that life's most urgent and persistent question is, what are you doing for others? This has guided me in my life and in my career in public service. It's something that guided me in this campaign trail. I would think, what am I doing for others? How can we make this city better? How can we make this a city where people feel safe and supported? This guided me. This guided me to this role, for this office. Many of you know my story. My grandfather, at just 21 years old, two-time gold medalist after winning gold, took to a world stage with a black beret and raising his fist to protest against the hate and division in our country. You see, what my grandfather knew at the time, that it wasn't about the medals, it wasn't about the applause, it was about sacrifice. It was about sacrifice and making a risk to risk it all, just so that things might be better for other people. It is that same legacy that I carry forward and why I am standing here today. My career has been grounded in public service. From serving as a city prosecutor, a defense lawyer in this very office, serving as a pro tem judge, and most recently serving as an assistant United States attorney, which was a dream job that shifted with the new Trump administration and when we were seeing clear rollbacks in civil rights. I knew I needed to make a decision, just like my grandfather did, to stand up and fight back what was happening. That is the vision I'm bringing towards this office. In this new administration, we are going to be centering real results and accountability. We are going to be centering victims and community, because public safety requires both. What I've learned in nearly a decade of working in public safety is that there's not one-size-fits-all approach to each case. And as lawyers and prosecutors, we are to use our judgment and discretion to make the right decision on the right case and to be stewards of justice. This is the lens that I'm bringing in perspective. We're going to be laser focused on domestic violence and DUI cases. We're going to ensure that the right cases get diverted. We've already started the process of setting up a new reimagined community court, a community court in models we see in like Tacoma, Bellevue, and even in New York. A community court is a place for folks to get the services so they don't get out and reoffend. Let's break the cycle. We've also set up the process to have a dedicated prosecutor that's going to focus on biased crimes, to make clear that hate and discrimination will have no place here in our city. We are excited to get started, and I want to acknowledge that nothing meaningful is ever accomplished alone. I want to thank our 34-person transition team that helped us get action items in place so we hit the ground running on day one. Thank you. Some of you are in this room. Will you please stand? Thank you. Thank you. I want to also thank our campaign team, many of you that are here, elected officials, so many mentors, you know who you are, that have made this moment possible. I want to thank my husband, Christopher Sanders. Give it up for Chris. Thank you. Thank you for always believing and guiding me. This is your moment too right now, right? Thank you. I want to thank my family who's here in the front row. Thank you for reminding me why this work matters. I also want to thank the Seattle City Attorney's Office, our employees. Thank you for showing up for this city every single day. I want to be clear that we will not be measured by numbers alone in this office. We will be measured by safer neighborhoods, thriving communities, and accountability. We are going to deliver on that. Okay. I also want to thank the people of Seattle. You all made this possible. because this election mattered. It mattered to our city. It mattered to our democracy. It mattered to the young black and brown people that now know that they too can and will be future Seattle city attorneys. I'm approaching this with eyes wide open that the road ahead will not be easy. I think about what my grandfather did at the Olympic Games, how it was met with outrage. But it stood the test of time, and it was on the right side of history. And now we are in a moment where young leaders like Toa will look back and ask what the leaders in this moment were doing to be on the right side of history. Yes. And we are going to do that work right now. Yes. We're going to do that work for our city and for our county. Because I am committed to a Seattle where we all can feel safe and where we all thrive. A city where dignity is non-negotiable. A city where we always fight back with urgency and with courage to protect our rights and values here in Seattle. My name is Erica Evans, and I'm honored to serve as your Seattle City Attorney. Let's get to work. Thank you.